Alright guys, what's up? It's KP, it's me, Kiefer. Welcome to this video. It's a completely different video here than what I normally do. So in this video, you're clicking on it to find out some information. My goal with this video is to bring you as much value as possible, okay? I'm gonna be diving into one of my one-on-one clients that I've worked with, Tyler, how he lost like 15 pounds of fat mass, built on some lean muscle mass, how he looks better, he performs better, he's just getting compliments left, right, and center. So I'm going to go through the whole UMP method that I applied on him, the unique male performance method. And so take some notes. You can always come back to this video, watch it, and apply the methods. And the goal here is just to see you win, but also give you as much value as possible. Okay, so I'm going to dive into my computer. Let's get into it. All right, boys. Here it is. I'm on a mission to help 1,000 skinny fat men absolutely transform their lives, feel better, look better, lose that fat mass, but essentially to torch off 10% of your body weight or your fat mass, to decrease brain fog, pack on lean muscle mass, and maintain it forever within 150 days using this UMP method that I'm going to explain, but without going to the gym 2 hours a day, every single day, saying goodbye to date nights with good food and a hot date. Boys, I'm so confident in myself as a coach and this method as well, that if the UMP method doesn't work, I'll keep working with you for free until you achieve your dream physique. Okay? Because that's what it's about. It's helping as many people as I can, building badass content, having fun while doing so. So let's jump into it, okay? Before we dive in though, first I just truly want to see you win. 90 to 95% of the male population is becoming lazy and lethargic, and you can be in that 10% of men who have a purpose within and inspire others to live a healthy and happy lifestyle. Okay? Because it sucks. It sucks to see that. I've talked to a lot of different people too, and they're just like, it is what it is. Like, you don't want to be in that 10%. Like, be that best version of yourself. That's the goal, to unlock your potential within your health and fitness goals and your physique and everything. Okay? So my name is Kiefer. I'm going to show you how I transform my one-on-one client, Tyler, which is here on the right, who lost around 15 pounds of fat mass in 90 days while maintaining his strength and looking ripped. Okay? So that's when he first started with me, and this is him now with more, I would say, fullness to his frame and his physique. He got wider in his back, bigger in his legs. He feels better. His posture is better. He's performing better throughout the day. And I'm going to dive more into this about the process itself. You know, this is him now working out with a pump, doing his arms. So it's more of a pump in this photo, but that's him here. And this is him after this whole method. His lean muscle mass, nothing is a linear process, but his lean muscle mass has gone up. We dropped his body fat percentage, including his weight, but we've built it back up using this UMP method. So I'm going to dive into it a little bit more, okay? Who is this for first? First, who is this for? Jeez. If you want to lose a minimum of 10% of your fat mass or body weight and keep it off forever while building a new frame of muscle mass, then this is for you. And again, this is for men who are 25 and over, okay? Because those are the guys that I help. If you're sick and tired of not having any energy, lost in what direction to take, and have tried cookie cutter programs like myself in the past with no results, then this is for you. If you want a simple and effective proven blueprint that will drive great results, this is for you. So continue to watch this video. You know you have what it takes to unlock your hidden physique potential, but you need an extra edge and accountability and mindset to get you there, then this is for you, my boys. All right? Second, though, let's jump to the next screen. Who is this not for? Okay. If you're looking for a quick fix and truly do not believe in yourself, this is not for you. Second, if you want to continue with the traditional methods that have been holding you back for years without trying a new improvement system, this is not for you. Third, if you are not willing to spend at least 4 to 5 hours per week in the gym, this is not for you. And if you are not open to new suggestions and controlling your impulses and stop eating junk food 99% of the time, my guys, this is not for you. Just click and leave the video. Don't waste your time. Go watch some other things. But if you truly think that you're capable of getting that physique to that next level, losing that fat mass, building that lean muscle mass, all the things I mentioned in that previous slide, stick around to the video, take some notes, let's have some fun. But first, boys, the truth about getting ripped, nobody would tell you. I mean, at the end of the day, you can get ripped and toned without giving up your favorite meals with your buddies, or go on a hot date and spending countless amount of hours in the gym, you can still see results. Most men are not able to do this because they don't understand how to eat proper foods that fuel performance, recovery, and results, develop a routine that optimizes their training and their mindset, and then third, use a system that works long-term like the UMP method, okay? So don't worry. I won't let that happen to you. That's why you're here in this video. I'm not going to let that happen to you. I'm going to give you as much value as I can, show you what I've done on Tyler and with myself and many other guys as well, okay? Let me take a quick sip here. But first, boys, honestly, there's no such thing as I don't have time or that won't work for me, like my metabolism is shot. Those are just excuses. You're not willing to open up and see or learn new things. Because guys, you don't have to work out hours in the gym or have amazing genetics or be on steroids to become the best version of yourself. I'm still a natty bro, and I still choose to stay natty for as long as I can. Now, if you want to be that guy, I'll show you exactly how to first navigate around the issues I previously mentioned. How I helped my client Tyler go from skinny fat to ripped to where he felt like he was a new man getting compliments left, right, and center. Third, how to lose 10% of your body fat in 150 days. And how to do all of this without giving up your favorite foods and meals and working out nonstop in the gym. Because that's what it's about, balance, right? Balance. You don't just want to be that guy that's just constantly like shit, can't do anything, and just eating the same fucking food and not enjoying the process, okay? So, just a little bit about me before I dive in. I don't want to keep this very long. This video is about you and delivering value to you guys. So I put up a few photos of myself here doing different things, living my life, etc. Mostly tailored around health and fitness though. But I started off at 145 pounds, skinny guy out of high school. I had no confidence. I couldn't talk to the girls. And I just felt like I wasn't the best version of myself just in general. So I played soccer growing up, and I graduated. I finished high school in Florida, and I came back home, and I started lifting a lot, and I got into the gym. So I started to become obsessed with health and fitness because it was the key to my highest self, or I generally do believe it's the key to your highest self. So I just became obsessed with this process, and I was loving it, and I started working out. So that was me when I was like 20, I think, 19 or 20. And I had a little bit of build. I had a little bit of abs, whatever. That's me flexing though really hard. No tan. Obviously burnt on the shoulders because I'm a ginger. But anyways, started working out. Started learning more about nutrition, health, training. But not too long ago, I wanted to do something new. And I wanted to compete. So again, I don't really help out competitors. But I know how to get guys ripped. That's for sure. But when I started this new thing, I had this massive panic attack from it. It was terrifying. And I realized that because I was doing something new, and in the long run, the beautiful thing about it was I learned more about myself, what I was capable of doing. I won first place here in 3 classes, took overall, and then did it again in a natural competition. And so, throughout this whole process, I became a certified PT and soon realized I needed to help men with all this information out there, misinformation out there, because there truly is on TikTok and Instagram. There's so much information that I'm like, what the hell is going on? That's why I'm making this video, to bring as much value as I can, show you Tyler's process as well. So yeah, I'm still enjoying my lifestyle. There's a picture with me and my fiance. We're, drinking, having a little bit of fun every now and then. There's my best physique yet, best shape yet. And I can say that 100% guys, naturally. I've done this naturally, so it's possible. So, the UMP method is my own trial and error system that I've built over a decade of working out and coaching men over the past 4 years to help them get in the best shape of their life and teach them the tools to keep it forever. That's the goal, to get you to keep this forever. Now, I've decided to break it all down for you, okay? Here's some of the boys that I've worked with, but that's the goal. It's like you don't want to be in that 90-95 percentile that ends up hitting their target but then gaining that weight back, okay? So in the following steps, I'll outline this entire process A to Z, what I did to accomplish these results for Tyler, and so you can use them as well. The UMP, the unique male performance method, to lose that 10% of your body weight or fat mass, pack on lean muscle mass, decrease brain fog, and learn how to keep the results forever, boys. So here it is right here, the UMP unique male performance method. So it's broken down into 3 different phases. Just a quick summary. I'm going to dive into it, but the first phase is metabolic priming. Within the first 30-40 days, we collect data on how your body responds within usually around the first 4 weeks to training, nutrition, and stress. We get your body ready for a fat loss phase and then building muscle. And higher rep ranges, we work on movement control, your form, etc. There's many other different parts within training nutrition I'm going to dive into. But then the second phase is kind of like that fat loss activation phase, 40 to 90 days. So optimize metabolism. It's now ready for, it's activated for that fat loss phase. So we focus on rest and recovery methods and protocols applied for better results. And we have a controlled caloric deficit. Obviously in the fat loss phase, you need to go into deficit, but you don't need to slash your calories like crazy and be one of those guys that's like, yeah, you know, like I'm just going to cut my calories and hopefully get shredded and lose a lot of your muscle mass. We want to decrease the amount of fat mass on you and maintain that muscle mass and also maintain strength, okay? And lifestyle optimization is kind of that last phase where we build lean muscle mass. 90 to 150 days, we build that lean muscle mass. We kind of reverse diet out a lower caloric phase, build your calories back up slowly. We're not putting on too much muscle or fat mass. And maintain the results. That's the goal here. So learn how to keep fat off forever and do smart intuitive eating or flexible dieting, which I'm going to dive into a little bit more. So yeah, it runs off 3 different phases and it fucking works great, man. So excuse me, let me dive into this. Keep going here, boys. Anyways, so here's how I optimize each part of the UMP method on Tyler, okay? So pay attention. Excuse me. Jeez. Let's take some notes. But before I kind of dive into that too, there's 3 core pillars inside the UMP method though. We focus on performance training, nutrition, mindset, and accountability, okay? So again, I'm going to dive more into this, but it's just things that we focus on within performance training is your sets, your reps, your exercise selection, your rest protocols. If you're a beginner, intermediate, most people I help, like there's no point as a beginner if your exercise selection is like all these hardcore movements that are very technical that I know compound movements are great, deadlift, overhead press, bench press, but they're very technical. You got to learn how to do these movements. So that's why we allocate our, Tyler, most of my clients to this area where they fit the exercise selection. We focus on the amount of sets, reps, progressive overload. Form correction is huge. We focus on form correction. We do videos, form correction, because you need to build that foundation before you can start progressing and seeing better results. And boys, sorry, I just cut out there. So other things we're going to focus on is RPE, RIR, MEV to MRV. I'm going to dive into that a little bit more, why that's important. Progressive overload. If you're starting off your training program with an MRV or maximum recoverable volume, that means that like you're fully just exerting yourself through all the force and you're not trying to find that MEV point, that minimum effective volume. So we can't add on volume when you're at your maximum already. When you're trying to MRV, when you're at that maximum recoverable volume, we can't progressively overload. So we focus on proper training protocols, cardio and cardiovascular training, habit trainings, rest protocols, and sleep, because that's an important factor as well. If you're sleeping proper, you're resting, we build up certain habits in place so you can see the results as quickly as you can. That's important. So that's performance training. We look at nutrition, your macros and calories, data collection phase. So again, we give you a good split so that you're not just like eating an inadequate amount of food that's not going to help you get somewhere to where you need to be. I like to keep it as an even split. Water intake, balanced macro food, like what I was saying, balanced macro food split with refeeds or cheat meals, because there's a difference between refeeds and there's a difference between cheat meals. So that's the nutrition side of things. And then mindset accountability is like give you feedback weekly within custom videos. As you can see, there's a photo of the club. We're on a call and you're around other men who are on the same mission or on a mission of their own, logging your food and making sure that you're on track, because that's huge. Like that's that accountability aspect of things. Like a lot of the time coaching is, people know how to lose weight, people know how to do things, but they need that kind of like that mindset hack or that accountability to keep you on track. So that's the 3 core pillars: performance training, nutrition, mindset, accountability. So first I'm going to jump into that first phase and kind of briefly describe each of these pillars within the phases. So let me click here. So first phase is metabolic priming, right? So metabolic priming with the training side of things for Tyler, what we did is we created a routine off of his training age. So he was more intermediate. He wasn't really beginner. He wasn't really advanced. So the routine that I gave him, made sure that he could execute the exercises to the best of his ability, and that he wasn't doing anything too advanced or too beginner. We made sure his sleep and rest were on point, okay? Within the first 30, 40 days, it's good to jump in to make sure that we optimize everything. We found baseline strength. We found his baseline strength. So we wanted to maintain his strength throughout this whole process through his MEV, so through his minimum effective volume. So we got him training. We got to see how he responded to training. Did he have decent pumps? Was he really, really sore for day after day? Because if so, then he's pushing too much. So we needed to find his minimum effective volume. He followed the UMP training guidelines and corrected the form to have the best output. So that is something as well. Like, we need to make sure, even though he's intermediate, we still worked on his form to make sure that he had proper output and the best results as possible. And he was training around 4 times a week, sometimes 5, because he wanted to, with 60-minute sessions. So nothing too crazy. He wasn't in the gym like 2 hours, whatever. So that's the first phase of this metabolic priming for 30 to 40 days, was his training. But second here, guys, which is really important as well, is the nutrition side of things. So on the metabolic priming, the 30-40 days for nutrition, we didn't drop the cows too fast, and we went through data collection phase to see how his body would respond. Again, most people are just dropping calories way too quickly. We kept it at a maintenance phase. We tried to find his maintenance phase. That's like the goal. So find your maintenance phase, see how your body responds. And we made sure all his meals were consumed with good, high-quality food and adjusted macros if needed to be. Because, again, if he's having 20 grams of protein with, like, let's say peanut butter, or if he's having 20 grams of protein with like chicken or steak, it's still the same amount of protein, but we want to make sure it's good, high quality amino acids so that he has better growth, recovery, and repair. So we made sure his food was really good. Found his baseline in calories, like what I was saying, and increased his energy output rather than decreased his energy output. So what do I mean by this? So we increased energy output, which means he was doing more cardio activities rather than decreasing energy input, rather than decreasing the amount of food that was entering his body. Because what we found, or what I found, is his body responded better to training stimulus by doing more cardio output rather than just decreasing his amount of calories, which was what most people do, is they decrease the amount of calories, do a shit ton of cardio, and then they're just losing muscle mass and they're losing weight, and then they yo-yo and they gain the weight back, right? And his metabolism started to fire properly. Then we kind of moved into that phase 2. So that's the first phase here. Just briefly described the metabolic priming. The goal here is to optimize your metabolism and then get it ready for phase 2. So there's multiple areas that I've talked about that we focused on. And this is phase 2 here, guys. So fat loss activation, that 40 to 90 day stage, I just want to say as well that everybody's different and everybody responds differently. So the goal here is not just to lose weight and see what happens to your body, but I think as a good coach would just see how your body responds, right? Or if you're training on yourself, you need to see how you respond to things. So it's not always about losing weight. It's to make sure that you are training properly, you have good rest and recovery, and moving on, right? So the fat loss activation phase is 40 to 90 days. So for nutrition, his metabolism is primed, but maintained energy input through calories. So again, he didn't really go that low in calories. I wanted to maintain as many calories as possible and his energy input, so what he's putting into his body, so he didn't feel like he was like starving all the time, right? Started to focus on refeeds and watch how his body responds. So since he was eating less calories, you need to eat less calories in a fat loss activation phase. We did do some refeeds, but we had a cheat meal every now and then, so there's a difference. Refeeds are going to be a lot higher in carbs. I think cheat meals are going to be a lot higher in like that fat, like burgers or something like that. So his body was responding tremendously throughout this phase. So we dropped his body fat from like 13% to as low as 8%, which is quite low. A lot of people don't want to be there anyways, but his body responded really well to it. We got him down in body fat percentage. Now his body is more accepting to putting on muscle, so we moved into that surplus phase after this fat loss activation phase, right? So I'll kind of briefly explain that in that last phase, but since he kind of dropped that body fat percentage, his body was like, okay, it's looking for a surplus, right? It's looking for something to build some muscle mass. So now he's at that optimal point. Rather than just going into a hardcore bulk, he could have started here and gone to a hardcore bulk, but he's probably going to overeat in calories, or he's going to feel better once we get him a little bit leaner. But that was the first phase of the nutrition phase. But then in the second phase of the training, the fat loss activation, we made sure we created proper mesocycles for Tyler's recovery. So again, a mesocycle is your training, the length of your training, right? Depends on how you build out the program. But we wanted to make sure that we created a proper mesocycle for Tyler in his recovery phase. So we now started to approach MRV, maximum recoverable volume, would be push to strength with less food. So in a fat loss phase, it's like sometimes when you're losing fat or you're eating less calories than possible, you want to maintain your strength. So we're increasing that MRV stage, and that means he's pushing himself quite hard. We're building up that volume so he can maximize his tissue and keep his muscle mass. And then his body is depleted from the workouts. Then we moved into a caloric surplus after losing 10% of that body mass and fat mass. So again, with a proper mesocycle in place, we focused on a deload, make sure that he was training effectively so that he wasn't overtraining, and then that's going to decrease his results. So we made sure that he's training properly. He was getting a deload week, taking a rest, upping his calories a little bit more, and then jumping back into it within that 40 to 90 day phase. So essentially, a lot of the times you can get somebody who's brand new to working out to do, let's say, 12 to 16 week program. Then you could do a deload. For Tyler, it was around 8 to 10 weeks. Okay. And his lean muscle mass started to go up. So again, it's not a linear process, but as you can see from a lower point, it's always up and down, but his lean mass went up in this kind of second phase here I'm going to talk about. So lifestyle optimization, that 90 to 150 days, training, nutrition. So now we're able to enjoy a little bit more food while building his calories back up slowly and building muscle tissue, minimizing fat as much as possible. Again, the goal here is when you're in a caloric deficit and you start to lose that body fat, then you start eating less calories. I believe you don't want to jump the calories too much. You want to slowly increase it. You want to see how the body responds. So that's what we did. He was enjoying more foods and able to track macros with the flexible approach or intuitive approach while maintaining his physique. So what I mean by that, you guys, here is he was following the meal plan in the first place, so he didn't have to guess anything. And, I slowly started to teach him, okay, you can follow this food list for a flexible dieting approach, meaning like stick with 80% of these healthy foods, and you can throw in like a 20% treat here and there, and he's still hitting his targets, like his calories and his macronutrients. Or that intuitive phase is that long-term aspect of like, okay, my metabolism is primed, I'm building muscle mass, I'm feeling a lot better, my training is good. You don't really have to track your food for the rest of your life. Now you can intuitively eat. You can use your intuition to, now you know what's healthy and what's not healthy. So changing training splits to work on areas like chest and arms. So we kind of started off with a lower rep range to higher rep range, of course, at the beginning of a workout, to make sure that he's putting as much maximum effort within a certain exercise. Let's say he wanted to keep more of that fullness in his chest and his arms. We're going to do a little bit more effort there at a higher RPE. So again, what I was explaining is RPE is like rate of perceived exertion. So for example, if you start your training phase at like RPE 9, which means 90% of your maximum effort, or you have one rep left in the tank, then what's going to end up happening is how are you supposed to progress when you're always overtraining? So at this stage, he was starting at like an RPE 7, RPE 8, and then we're slowly building that progressive overload over time, and started to put on that muscle mass. So that's pretty much about it. This is how this guy really transformed his physique and his mindset. So guys, the UMP method, the unique male performance method, is meant to torch off body fat, build muscle, and build a sensational physique while teaching you how to maintain these results. For Tyler, the results were worth it. Honestly, from looking good to having an immense amount of energy in and out of the gym to also having compliments from others. That's awesome. The goal is to acquire your dream physique. The goal here is to acquire your dream physique is the key to self-mastery, like what I was saying in the first place, and helping you realize what you're capable of achieving. That's the goal here. It's to acquire that dream physique of yours and to realize that self-mastery, holy shit, I can't even say that right, is within yourself. That's the goal. Now you understand exactly how this method works. I have an offer for you. So if you're sticking to the end of this video, that's great. If you're a skinny, fat, overweight kind of guy, you're tired of not having the physique you want, and you're ready to look great with your shirt off and make the most physical progress you've ever had, then down below, I'm going to leave links for you to book a call with me. And on this call, we'll keep it as short as possible. I'll give you as much value as I can, see where you're at, see if you're the right fit, and hopefully we can work together. If not, I can give you as much value as I can so that you can take that value and apply it on yourself. But again, the goal here is to really torch off 10% of your body fat mass or your body weight, decrease brain fog, pack on lean muscle, and maintain it forever within 150 days using this UMP method. And I'll work with you for free until you achieve your result. That's the goal. So if you know that you have this kind of feeling inside you, like you know you can do more, and you're just waiting for the right time. Sometimes there's a right time and place. You can't force anyone to do something. But your health is wealth. And you know, you're like, damn, I know I can do better. You know, this is for you. Take action. Success like speed. You know, Tyler did that. Many of the other guys did that too. Like they realized they had that true potential to unlock their dream physique, and they just fucking took action. That's what it's about. And then there's always going to be ups and downs. And then you fight through those ups and downs. You learn more. And that's my goal, is to give you as much value in this video. And that's my goal for all my one-on-one clients, is give them as much value as I can and show them what is possible. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video. It's a lot of value. Try to keep it as short as I can. Again, the links are down below. You can click those links and get a hold of me and get inside of my program and apply the UMP method. Hopefully this brought you a lot of value. Hopefully you took some notes. But anyways, I'll catch you on the flip side.